Welcome to Talkin' Shit, soon to be called Selling Out. Yep, I was just over at Podcast One Studios today, and they were telling me we're going to have to change the name, guys, because you're not donating. You're not donating like you have. And speaking of donating, welcome to Talkin' Shit. I'm Eddie F. Tonight, I've got two guests, friends of mine who recently I did their podcast. They're the Comedy Film Nerds. And we had a very fun time on their show. Grahm has been on Talkin' Shit. You're like a Talkin' Shit regular now. This is number 3 for you.
This is number 3, yeah.
You've been on very awkward episodes. Something really weird happened the first time you were on.
Very awkward episode the first time, and then the 300th episode at the Improv.
Yes. Grahm Elwood, that is, and Chris Mancini, his partner, lover.
Yes. Longtime male companion.
Yes. Fluffer, does all that stuff for him.
Yeah. Wow, I just got promoted.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't want to be a lover.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to love during that. Anyway, these two do a podcast. If you haven't listened to it, you should. It's a bunch of guys talking about films, the way you would talk about them and when you nerd out on films, which I didn't realize how much of a... I am a nerd when I talk to you guys.
It's so funny, man. So many people go, I'd love to be on a show, but I'm not a big film guy.
Yeah.
I'm like, just wait.
Yeah, then you get on and you're like, oh my God, I really want to talk about this right now.
Yeah, because everyone gets into it, and everyone has some movie that they're like...
Then all of a sudden, it's 10 minutes of them just talking about some movie that they're passionate about.
And you don't have to go to film school to go off on a movie.
I'm amazed at how much we watch films in life and TV series. Like, how much of our life is consumed by that. And I always talk about, like, things in life are a distraction to distract us from life. Like, people always go, oh, people use drugs and alcohol as a distraction from life. I'm like, we all use all kinds of fucking shit.
Yeah.
People use work, people use gambling, people use sports, people use hobbies, films, TV. That's how you get away from reality. People watch reality shows to get away from reality. Like, they don't want to focus on their own reality, so they'd rather watch about somebody else's. Because without all that shit, we just sit and think and go fucking crazy and kill yourself.
Yeah, well, without a doubt.
Yeah, that's basically what we're saying is pop culture is saving your life.
It is in a way.
Really. I mean,
like
that's
film,
what,
that's what film is. Film keeps you
It is
from
a
killing
lifesaver.
yourself.
It's like a suicide hotline.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
It's a suicide hotline if Bruce Willis was on the end of it. That's really what movies
If
are.
I had my choice of execution or solitary confinement for the rest of my life, I would take execution for sure. And if they said, you're getting solitary confinement, I would go in and bang my head against the wall until I died.
Yeah, you'd hang yourself from your socks or whatever.
There's a group that
What kind of socks do you think he wears?
I have new socks. You don't have new socks? They're just, you can get them on Amazon. They're great.
New socks?
Yeah, new socks.
They go past the knee?
Yeah, they're great.
They're great for hanging.
I
And
would...
keeping your whole calf warm.
No, there's a group trying to get rid of solitary confinement, and you can donate money to this. And I know the most horrible people in the world that have committed horrible murders and rapes and everything are sitting there in solitary confinement. But still, no, that's worse than murder and rape. That's you're punishing them worse than they punish. I don't care if it was Adolf Hitler.
He shouldn't be alone right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Solitary
really
confinement
should.
is the worst fucking
Last
shit.
time he was alone, he wrote Mein Kampf. You know what I mean? Only bad things happen.
Or give them movies.
Yes. Or give them movies.
Just
Those are the
give them
choices.
movies.
Yeah.
But they got to be good movies.
No, you could give them bad ones. It'd be even funnier.
Oh,
Kinda
torture them with
punish them. Yeah.
Transformers.
Or what was the movie I'm really upset about? The Truth.
Oh, shit!
It was
the Big
yeah, the
Truth or the
Garcia
Last
movie.
Truth or the
something Truth.
Hey,
with,
hey, Googler.
Dark Truth.
Dark Truth.
The Dark Truth. All Cody does while he's Googling is send texts and emails. Your job is to Google, and all you do... I see you. What are you doing?
He's distracting himself from his life of Googling for this podcast.
Oh, he's taking show notes.
Oh. Is that what her name is?
Cody does a good job. We don't pick on him that much because he does a good job. Shane's the one we pick on. He's not here.
Yeah, well, fuck Shane. I don't know what
fuck
his
you, Shane.
Didn't show up.
You see no correlation with those two facts?
I think everyone we've picked on is gone. Farside's gone. Jason's gone.
Yeah, there was some homeless dude here.
He's gone. He's dead. He died in a scooter crash. No one asks about him anymore. That's died off even.
Did he really die in a scooter crash?
Yeah, he died in a scooter crash.
For real?
Not really, but we just say that.
Yeah.
We wish it would happen. He couldn't happen because his scooter broke down and now he rides a bike. Shut up.
No, he didn't.
Jason Hour has a car. Chi-Chi, are you sure about this? He drove one. He's had cars before. I'm sure he's driven my car many times where he's pulled up and somebody said, "Where'd you get that car?" And he said, "It's mine." He said it's mine?
Yeah, well.
I'll get to the bottom of that. There's no way how bad of a car is it?
Check the pink. Check the pink slip.
95 Honda Civic.
Well,
no one would brag about having that car.
No, Jason would.
Yeah.
There's no way that's his car. There's no way he has
that
the title.
car is above his station in life. An 18-year-old Civic.
If you have the pink slip to somebody's vehicle, don't you really own that vehicle then?
Yeah, you do.
Yes.
I have Jason's pink slip to his scooter in my house right now.
So you own
So
it.
technically I own it.
Yeah, pretty much.
How great would it be if we went and took it right now and put it like on a pickup truck and then just smashed it into scrap?
I think we should.
You don't understand this is the kind of thing we do on this show.
Yeah, I know how this show works. I know.
I don't know if you should really do that without recording it.
Yeah,
Well, that's you know what?
that's episode 400.
Yeah.
We would do it if we had the Zoom recorder and we could just go to where he. But I don't know where he keeps the scooter right now because it's broken down. But I would love.
Wow, we gotta find
I
out.
would love to fucking.
It doesn't have a low jack in it.
He's got a low jack.
No,
the
it's-
low jack would cost 3 times the amount of that
the
scooter.
The scooter, literally, it's one of those Chinese scooters. It's like $300.
Yeah.
Like I met a guy. Did you ever do Marco Island? Did you ever do that gig?
No.
Well, you're on an island, so the only way you can get around, you rent a scooter. And I made friends with
This
the
off
guy.
of Florida?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I know where it is.
And I made friends with the guy that runs the scooter shop. And I said, "How much do these scooters cost?" He's like, I said, "I'd love to have one at home just to putt around Venice." He goes, "If you're gonna buy one, come through me. I can get it for you wholesale." And he goes, "They're only $300
Wow.
for a scooter,"
really?
and that's what Jason's driving. Yeah,
Wow.
and it's broken down, of course.
The $300 Chinese scooter broke down.
That's what
Yeah.
somebody's going, oh, a Vespa someday.
That's what some.
So you guys, you're also in charge. Do you do it together? Do you do the podcast festival together?
Yes, with 2 other people. We do it with Dave Anthony and Andy Wood.
Oh, I like Dave, and I like Andy Wood surfs. He's a
Yeah,
surfer.
Andy's a surfer, and
He does the
Bridgetown.
The science.
Probably Science.
Probably.
is his podcast, and then he also runs Bridgetown Comedy Festival.
It's funny. A comic from Seattle just called me the other day or texted me and said, "Hey, I want to do the Bridgetown Comedy Festival. Do you know how I can do that?" And I said, "Yes, sign up."
Yeah, yeah. Submit your tape, bitch. Like, the fuck you want me to do?
I'm pretty sure they take everyone, right?
Well, I mean, they have 200 some comics in the festival, so they get. He said something like 3,000 submissions.
Oh, really?
Oh God! And I'm like, you watch that? And he goes, we watch every. I go, oh my God! That's why we will never take submissions for the Los Angeles Podcast Festival.
You heard
It
that?
is fucking
Never.
Invite only. Like,
I've done Probably Science. I had a good time on it. Those guys are good guys, and I thought that was one of those ones where I was going to be dead because I know, I failed out of every class in high school. I'm like, we're going to be talking science, and I don't know shit. But I think we talked about farts or something, so it was up my alley.
the science of farting.
Yeah. Do you know what farts are? Do you know what they are?
The release of gas.
Yeah, but do you know how it happens? And it's pretty interesting what a fart is.
Did you know this going in or after the podcast?
No, I've actually weirdly I look into things like this because it's something that's so common in life and that we don't know about it. Most people would never know what a fart really is. But what it is, it's a little bit of the devil being released out of you.
It's the devil.
That's what
Get that evil out of you.
That's what they told me at church.
Okay, that makes perfect sense.
That's all a fart is. That's why it makes a really nasty noise on a church pew.
Because it's the devil
perfect
disintegrating
sense.
in
It's
the
the devil
holy-
being unhappy that he's in church.
Yeah.
I used to.
That's how you can spot the adulterers.
Exactly.
Church. That's
When I was a kid and I went to church a lot. My family was religious. I used to press my butt cheeks so hard to the pew and try to fart because it could make such a loud noise.
Oh, it's amazing.
It was the most. It was almost like God wanted them to be loud. God.
Well, yeah, my mom would flick us in the ear when we'd giggle in church.
Were you a churchy? Did
Yeah.
you grow up a churchy?
We did. We were Catholic, so we went to a Catholic church. But it was in Madison, Wisconsin, so it was the quote-unquote hippie Catholic church. So they'd have, like, tambourine masses and hippies dancing around. This is the 70s.
Did you have incense?
Yeah, this is the 70s. And then my parents got divorced.
Oh, banned from the church.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, we were out.
Excommunicated.
Yeah, we were excommunicated. She went to the church for help, and they're like, "You're out." So she's like, "You guys are done." And she's like, "75% of organized religion is bullshit." She's
So
like,
your
"You're
mom,
out."
that's how your mom learned her lesson?
Yeah.
It's almost impossible to get excommunicated out of the church.
Yeah, I know. I know what these priests have been doing.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
why
That's not even close. You fuck a kid, you're not even halfway out.
you get promoted.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
Vatican like gives you your own.
You get
you get your own parish.
You get a vacation in
Yeah.
Italy. I tried to get excommunicated because they.
Was this like an ad campaign?
No, it was like a year ago. We were having.
You kickstarted it, right?
Yes, I did a Kickstarter for.
Donate for Eddie to get excommunicated, you guys.
No, I want it to be done. If anyone,
He's releasing
if
the
anyone
devil
can make
from-
it happen, I think I have to like threaten the Pope's life or something. That's it. Google how you get excommunicated.
There's got to be an app for that,
Yeah.
right?
It's probably on eHow.
I wanted to quit because we had a relative who said they wouldn't come to my wedding because I wasn't getting married in a church, and that it would be illegal for them in the church for them to come to my wedding because they could be excommunicated because I was a Catholic, not being
It
married.
sounds like someone just didn't want to go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I said my thing was
Yeah, I'd use-
fine. I'll go get excommunicated because I just wanted to prove my point. So I was like, where do I fucking sign the paper? Who do I have to? What nun can I punch in the face to make this happen? So I go, I look it up, and it's so fucking hard to get it because they like using those numbers. Once you're born in, like you
Right.
don't consider yourself a Catholic, right?
Right.
You still are.
Oh,
They're
gee.
using you.
Yeah, we're Catholic too.
You're a number.
Mhm.
And that's why when they say there's like 2 billion Catholics worldwide,
They're counting
bullshit.
me?
Yeah, they're
Fuck
counting me.
that.
They're counting you.
Yep.
There's probably like 20.
Yeah. Active practicing
Yeah,
Catholics. Yeah.
And then everyone else is like,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, we're going to go starve that church on Christmas. And
And luckily,
know.
they're each giving $10 million a year
Yeah.
to the Catholic Church.
there's a church down in Palos Verdes that I was just looking at when I was surfing the other day. It's a Catholic church. It's got to be worth the property easily 25, 30 million. The property.
Wow.
Oh, wait a minute. Are you insinuating that the Catholic Church is about money and power? I, sir, am offended at what you're saying. You need to be excommunicated from that.
But when I was looking, I was like, how do we blow this up and build fucking awesome houses here and make like how do we steal this from
And
the Catholic
still,
Church?
if you did that, not excommunicated.
Yes.
Look how
You blew up a church and turned it into public housing.
look, it should say, "Do you want excommunicated? Click here."
Yeah.
That's what it should say. Fucking rapists.
Oh, God. I think, and that's the other thing, too.
That's the great thing about tax-exempt status.
Oh, God. It's such a scam in this country.
I keep saying I want I want a guest on the show that'll convert me to religion. Like I want either Jehovah's Witness or a Mormon, and we keep putting it out there, but I don't think they're listening.
Really? You guys don't have a big, you guys don't have, really?
No.
All those episodes?
I want them to come in
You
here.
had a porn star in the 300th episode. That wasn't getting.
That's the one that squirted on the Bible. Yeah.
Well, someone must be doing research. Maybe you'll hit one of them on, you know.
I would think one of them. You would think, though, honestly, that there would be someone out there going, "I'm going to find these heathens and save their soul."
Yeah,
and
that's
I'm
what I
gonna-
want.
And I'm going to go to a show called Talking Shit
And save them.
and save them.
Right after the naughty show.
And then it'll be it'll be really funny if the next week we come
Is
back
that
as
the-
selling out. There she is. There's Bonnie. That's the girl that was on the show.
Oh, wow.
She just won Performer of the Year in the AVNs.
For her.
Yeah, she's a really good
These
girl.
are wonderful images that we're looking at. She's just getting drilled.
Yeah,
on her-
yeah. She's not afraid of anything.
Yeah.
Except for being excommunicated.
She's. Is that her squirting on the Bible?
Lesbian porn. And that didn't get her excommunicated?
No, I don't think she was ever communicated.
Yeah, I think she's
I bet she started in the church. I forget. We asked her probably, but I have a feeling she probably came from a religious
Well,
family.
it's interesting too. It's
Yeah.
like, especially with Catholics, if you ask somebody as an adult, when did you look at all the religions and choose to be Catholic? And everyone goes, I
I was born
just
it.
kind of born into
Yeah.
it. That's what my family was, and then we just, ended up being Catholic.
That'd be the last one I think people choose. One of the last. It'd be up there with like Mormonism and the
Jehovah's
Jehovah's
Witnesses.
and all that.
Yeah, but how many people do you know who have ever done that? Sat down, researched a bunch of religions, and then went, I want to be this one.
Well, when I was religious and I was on my way out,
That's when you do it. When you're like, there's got to be a better religion than the one I'm in
and I
now.
read about Lutheran. I read about Lutheran, and
Yeah.
I went, "Oh, this one sounds pretty cool."
And Presbyterians, and like, oh, these is religions
Yeah,
run by
these-
saner people.
These people are kind of normal. And then I still went, and I'm like, no, they're all fucking insane. I'm getting out of here. And I just completely. But weirdly, I think Judaism is probably the most normal because they don't recruit.
I read the book called The World's Religions, and it outlines the 5 or 6 basic Christianity. I mean, it doesn't go into the subsects like Lutheranism, Catholicism, all that. It's Christianity, Judaism, Islam,
Buddhism?
and
Capitalism.
and yeah, that was the book.
Yeah.
And Tao and Confucianism, because Buddhism, Taoism, and Confucianism we don't know this in this country, but that's like most of the Asian world
Yeah,
is
about
way into those.
probably like 2 billion people.
Are into that. So it went into the real basic tenets of those 5
And
religions.
it's all the same.
And it's honestly, that's interesting you say that. The golden rule
Is in each of them.
is in all of them.
Which is also in Scientology. I read a Scientology book once, and it was like they handed out in the street. Somebody handed me this thing. It was like a little pamphlet thing.
Did you squirt on it?
And I told them that in my audit. But I was
Get your
I
e-meter.
was reading the back page of like their not 10 commandments, but their like rules of Scientology. And it was all that it's like do unto your neighbor as you would have done to
Right.
And I'm going, did you just plagiarize the fucking Bible?
yes. Yes.
Is that what all of you have done? It's
Well,
amazing.
honestly, if you think about it,
How do you get excommunicated from Scientology?
yeah, your credit card just declined. That's how you get.
Have you been watching True Detective?
No,
I
is it
heard
good?
it's really good.
It's
though.
great, and Matthew McConaughey, who Dan Cummins is on our show a lot, and he wants to fuck him really bad. He's like an existentialist in the show, and just an atheist, just talking about he just doesn't believe shit. And they live down in deep South Louisiana, where everybody's a Bible fucking beater, and it's really funny. It's really, really funny because the dynamic between Woody Harrelson and Matthew McConaughey is awesome, because Woody Harrelson's one of those hypocritical Christians who's cheating on his wife and
Right.
fucking believes in the Bible and believes in all this.
Of course.
He's a good guy and he does the right thing. And Matthew McConaughey just looks at him. He's like, "You're full of shit."
Yeah.
And they hate each other, but they work together. It's
Oh, that's awesome.
because they're both they respect each other's work, but
Now, are
They
they
despise
private,
each
Are
other.
they private detectives or they?
no,
what are
they're
they?
cops.
They're
They're
cops.
I read about
They're
this.
investigating a murder.
It's really interesting because it's only going to be
Like 6 episodes,
6 episodes. That's why they got these A-list people, and they're going to keep
replacing them.
replacing. They're going to put 2 big name people in the
It's
next,
fucking awesome.
which
yeah.
is a great idea.
It's because of American Horror Story that kind of got that back together. Each season is a story with a cast. Although the difference with American Horror Story is they bring some of the cast back for each season, but they're all playing different characters in different.
Oh,
times.
really?
Yeah.
I don't know if I like that, but I like this. They said a lot of the minor characters will stay. But the 2 major characters, like the 2 stars,
Also, they're going to keep the setting from.
I think that's
Oh,
what they're
wow.
talking
That's-
about.
Okay.
You know, I like that, and just as a concept, and tell me if I'm wrong since you're actually watching it, is the problem with a lot of American TV shows. Like
The Jews.
they're the
Oh.
worst. Yeah, that's what this show's turned into. I haven't been on it in a while. Didn't realize. Come on out, bring your crosses, gang. We're gonna get America back on track.
This show should be called Ruining Your Career.
There's really not
Yeah,
much.
too late.
It's too
Yeah.
late. What can you ruin?
Yeah.
A podcaster who's a road act. I mean, what are you gonna fucking? What are you gonna do to me? You know what I mean?
You're stealing a car with a dead battery.
But here's the thing: like I was just been binge watching Sons of Anarchy, which is an excellent show, very well acted. I like all the people in it. But the problem with American shows, and I say American because the BBC will make it like 3 seasons.
7,000 episodes.
Yeah, because you're just watching
Capitalism. We
I
want to
know.
keep fucking making money.
It's like Sons of Anarchy should have been 4 seasons.
Right.
Because it's like they set up all this shit like, oh, this guy's
Should
gotta
have been
die.
1 season.
I know. It's like, and it's like they keep.
You're that good of a creator. You can create more shows.
Yeah, I know.
Like you can change the content. I felt like that with this podcast where I'm like, all right, we've done fucking 300 episodes. We're done. We're done. There's nothing more we can fuck. I'm trying to reinvent the show, and I'm going to. There's gonna be a big announcement when I come back from Australia. Big. Fucking blow your mind. Not just changing the name.
Well, Breaking Bad was a good example of how to end a show and when not to outstay your welcome.
But like Flight of the Conchord, I knew those guys, and they made 12 episodes or whatever, or 2 seasons, and that was like a lot for them. They're like, oh, we're gonna make 2.
Yeah.
Like, because the British mentality, when I used to work over in England all the time, those comedians are like, yeah, I just got a series, and I'm like, oh, awesome. Would you get 22 episodes? They're like, 6.
6.
And I'm like,
and that's a full run.
And I'm done.
yeah. And they were like, I'm really glad to have that, and I hope that it's really amazing. And I go, and then what? And they're like, what do you mean, and then what? And it's just, I think in America, it's just ingrained into our heads.
It's not Doctor Who.
As much money as we can fucking make, as many fucking episodes, and run that fucking shit into the ground till you can syndicate it and turn it into another show and spin it off.
And a theme park and a goddamn...
Yeah, and we just trash shit by doing that.
I know, you ruin... Because, like, you know, I'm watching Sons of Anarchy, and I'm just bored with it. Because I'm just like, you're in another thing with this fucking gang.
Dexter did that, too. Dexter should have been 4 or 5 seasons.
Homeland done after the first year.
That was what made me so mad about the ending of the first season. I was like, he should blow himself up. That's a great fucking ending.
Yeah.
He's a mole.
Boom, and he did it.
And they can't because they got to keep him alive. And it's like when you Heroes. Remember what happened to Heroes?
Oh my God.
The first season, everyone was like, every nerd was like, holy shit.
We should pass a law in America. You only get 1 season of a show. You get 1 season, and it's
I think
12 episodes at the most.
3 is like the top end. Like it, because
I used to love Modern Family, love it, and I like it now because Adam Devine's on it. But and I like Adam. But other than that, the show has just gone to shit. It used to be so funny, and all of a sudden they must have gotten a new writer, or I mean, they must have lost a great writer. Like he left, and he's on some other show somewhere where he's making a fortune. So the show's just over.
Well, what country developed the term "jump the shark"?
Yeah,
we did.
Yeah. No, that's the truth. I mean, honestly, you're right. It happens a lot of times with comedies where they just run out.
Especially podcasts like Talkin' Shit.
That's why we do a movie one, because there's always new movies for us to talk about. Because if it was just Chris and I talking, it would have been done a long time ago.
there are shows that can be a serial show like that. That it's you found your rhythm and you find. But I feel like with this, we got to come up with something new. Or it's I love the picture.
Just Fonzie in the leather jacket and swim trunks.
And it was a 2-parter.
Oh,
you had to wait. You couldn't see it in the first.
That's when
episode.
Fonz was like. He's like in his 40s at that point. It's like, he's not actually an Italian guy from the Bronx or whatever. He's a Jewish dude.
Colin Quinn used to have a great joke. He goes, the worst day of my life was the first day I heard Henry Winkler speak, not as the Fonz. I had a joke. I said, America used to be cool. We used to be like Fonzie. Now we're like Henry Winkler. Because it's... The guy was the coolest guy. Nobody ever realizes it. And these guys are probably so young, they didn't even watch Happy. Chi-Chi, do you ever watch it? Michelle, do you ever watch it? Reruns. But you didn't get into it. You couldn't care less. Cody,
like
never? See, these guys don't even fucking give a shit.
They don't even know how many spin-offs it actually spawned. It was like one of those shows that kept generating spin-offs.
Laverne and Shirley.
Yep.
Which, by the way, Squiggy wants to come on the show. He's asked
Get him
about-
on the show.
He's got MS.
You think that's contagious? What if he coughs on me? Then I'm going to start twitching.
Remind me to talk about Magic Johnson after this. But
Oh, I cannot wait for that conversation.
wait, what else? What else was a spinoff of Joni Loves Chachi?
NYPD Blue.
Yeah. And Mork and Mindy.
Yeah, Mork and Mindy was it?
Shut up.
No,
Yes.
that was. Mork was in a dream sequence that I think Richie had.
Yeah, as an alien. And then they added a tag when they reran it. It's like, oh, I'm going to Boulder, Colorado now. That's my assignment. And then it spun off the show.
Oh, and the Brady Bunch spun off of that.
Yeah.
That was
yes.
no, but there was some. What was my point about that? These guys don't even they don't care and they don't know. Fonzie used to fuck twins, on a regular basis, and it was never said, but he was always going out. He'd be like, "I'm going out with the Johnson twins tonight," and everybody's like, "Oh, you're so cool, Fonzie." And now I look at them like, this is the coolest fucking guy in the world. He was banging twins on a regular basis.
And he lived over a garage.
Yeah.
But still the coolest guy ever.
I know. He was that cool that he lived above this dorky family's house, and people still bought into, which I think is a great, the Fonzie character, the fact that Henry Winkler played it. I think it's Joni. Joni is how you want it.
Yeah. Johnny Loves Chachi.
There it is. Joni Loves. But it showed you the whole thing. I'm sure you've known guys like this who you're like, that guy's not that good looking. How is he pulling these shit hot girls? And
but when you were a kid, you thought he was the coolest.
Right.
I thought Fonzie was the coolest fucking guy ever.
Yeah.
ever.
He drove a motorcycle. He wore a leather jacket. He snapped and girls came to him. He could kick the jukebox and the song he wanted would go
on.
on.
He had power over electronics.
Yeah.
Yes.
He had an office in a bathroom.
Right.
His office, want to go to my office, and you would go in the bathroom of the diner, and that's where he sometimes beat people up, and he would go out with twins at night and have threesomes with twins.
Sometimes in the office.
Yeah,
it was great.
Look at him. He was
Look at him. Just pure gold, that guy.
The schnoz on him. Look at that
man.
thing. Okay, now to Magic Johnson. Somehow I got on a thing today that says that Magic Johnson admits that he never had HIV. Has anybody seen this story?
What?
Okay, it looked like it was on some almost like The Onion, and then I started going into it, and I'm finding there's all these things of him saying. Now let's find out if this is fucking true.
Is this like we never went to the moon kind of thing?
But the problem is this would be if Neil Armstrong was saying I didn't go to the moon.
Yeah, that's true.
This is Magic going.
Actually,
Yeah, I made it up. I felt bad for all those AIDS victims and everybody calling them homos and shit, so I said I'd have it.
I needed a retirement strategy, and I just didn't want to.
Look up Magic Johnson does not have AIDS. Or does not have HIV. Does not take medication. Does not have HIV.
Does not have a talk show anymore.
Thank God.
Doesn't. Click the one up.
I have a good friend that has a theory.
Magic Johnson. Is that what it says?
That's how the story starts. So you know it's reputable. I have a friend with a theory.
How has Magic Johnson has been living with HIV? Because when I saw the story, I went, this just can't be. There's no way.
It was just somebody's blog then.
No, it wasn't a blog. It was
a bathroom wall. It was
Yeah,
something
that's where I read it.
reputable.
It was in my office.
It was
I
at his-
reading it on the wall.
It was at his movie theater.
You go
All
to
right,
Magic
all right.
Johnson movie theaters a lot, do you, Eddie?
So forget this story. Magic still has AIDS.
Okay.
Or doesn't have AIDS. He has HIV.
Right. He's been beating it every year with the cocktail.
Yeah, I don't think he takes the drugs.
So how did he? Well, good for him.
He has the good AIDS
It's like good cholesterol.
and good Hodgkins. Did you ever hear somebody be like, I don't have the bad Hodgkins. I have the good Hodgkins. I don't think any Hodgkins is good.
I can't imagine it ever being.
He has the good AIDS though. I don't want the good AIDS, but I'd rather have the good AIDS.
If you had to pick.
Yeah.
I'd take the good AIDS.
Gun to my head, I go good AIDS.
By the way, we had this whole thing on the last episode about crabs because this woman read this story about having crabs. And I looked them up because I always wondered what they looked like. Have you ever seen what a crab on pubic hair looks like?
You don't know. No, I have not.
They're lice.
This is what I do.
They're lice, right?
Yeah, it's really creepy.
Oh, God. Get those off the screen. Get those off the goddamn screen.
That's in eyelashes.
And eyelashes.
I was sitting on a lifeguard stand one day with when I was lifeguarding in Stone Harbor, New Jersey, like years ago, and a guy with me was pulling down his pants and pulling things off his pubes and then flicking them. And I go, "What the fuck are you doing?" And he goes, "These look like little crabs." And I got off the stand. I like jumped off the lifeguard stand, got on the walkie-talkie, and called the beach patrol headquarters. I go, "You got to come down here and transfer me." And they go, "Why?" I don't want to say his name, but I go, I'll say his first name. I go, "Chris has crabs." I go, Chris has crabs. Will you please come down here?
Now, why did you want yourself transferred? Why didn't you just want him gone?
Because I just wanted to get as far fucking away from the stand, everything. And see, they do. You can almost see that they look like little. I'm so glad I'm married. That's one thing that I escaped and never got. That's one thing I never got. I know a comedian that got him, and he went home and gave him to his girlfriend, and he said he got it from a toilet seat. But I read you can.
That's my favorite.
You can get him from Sheets or
Henry Phillips joke. Is he does that joke where
unless there's a nest on the toilet seat, you're not gonna
a nest. The toilet seat is such a great scam.
We're gonna have a whole crabs episode. Can you guys put that in your documentary that you're doing on podcasting?
Yes, this is the forefront of the podcasting documentary: is how to get crabs from a toilet seat.
These guys, if I probably haven't talked about it yet because I know what I've talked about. They're doing a documentary on podcasting, which somebody needed to do. It's about fucking time. Even though you haven't started it yet, it's great. Well, you kind of have because you filmed at the podcast festival.
Yeah, we got that's kind of where it started. We just had a camera crew go around to get interviews with people, and like we had done the first year, and these awesome interviews came back with like Aisha Tyler and Mark Maron and Jimmy Pardo and whatever, Doug Benson, talking seriously about how podcasting, what it meant to them, and the connection to the fans.
And that's pretty much where we decided. I'm like, you know what, we need to do this documentary. It was kind of a proof of concept.
See, I would like if you interview me, I'd be like, podcast. What's it done? It's hurt my career. It's I'm losing my wife. Everyone around me hates me. I own GoPros now. The fans donated these GoPros,
and you've gotten crabs from podcasting.
Yeah. No, so these guys, I want to tell the shitheads what you're doing. They're making a documentary about podcasting, which is great. I always thought someday I'd like to make a documentary about the story behind Talkin Shit, how this like happened, the rise and fall, the ins and outs of like how good it's been, how bad. Like every time we think, even when Jim was here, there would be days where we're like, this is it. We're not going to be here next week. This is the fucking worst thing we've ever done with our lives. And then the next week I'd be like, Jim, we're down here. You going to come down? He'd be like, will you make me a hot dog? And I'd be like, all right, I'll come do the show. And then we'd do it, and we'd have the best time ever. And then the next week, I'd be like, I'm going to quit. And Jim's like, you can't quit. And so now that we've done 300 and some episodes, I fucking love it in a way. I really do.
You know, it's funny you say that because Chris and I, we record in Chris's garage up in the valley, and we've both had many days where, I mean, I have to drive up because I live near you by the beach, so I'm driving up a half hour to the valley, and I don't.
Oh, really? I thought you lived up that way.
No. I live Santa Monica.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
You should come down and go surfing.
Yeah, fuck yeah, dude. I went surfing today. It was kind of.
So did I.
Oh, sweet.
I was getting smashed.
Yeah, it was kind of big.
Yeah, it was.
That swell.
Where were you?
I went up to Sunset.
Oh, see, I should have gone there. I was at Venice and at Breakwater, just getting crushed.
Yeah, the beach breaks were kind of gnarly.
Yeah,
but like I don't know. We've had countless days where I would show up at Chris's garage, and we're just like we're both.
Well, do you want to record the show or should we hang ourselves?
Yeah, which Chris asks me every week.
Because I know the answer's going to change.
Yeah, he goes, you got your new socks, Grahm. Fucking choose, asshole. I don't want to do this bullshit any more than you do. I got kids I can play with, and you're whiny nonsense. So, yeah, I think every podcaster, and I think that's one of the things we want to capture in the documentary,
is that we're giving to you people out there entertainment that we sometimes don't want to give.
Well, I will tell you, I personally went through some tough stuff. Like I went through a divorce and, I lost a home. And I remember just like, I'm fucking driving to the valley to do this show for goddamn free.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck is going on with my career? And then we'd start doing the show and start talking. And I was like, and afterwards I'd always be like, man, I'm really glad we did that. That was awesome. And
You
then
always feel better after.
you always feel better. And then you'd get an email from a fan or something
Yeah.
saying, hey man, you guys got me through a tough thing.
Yeah, the fans don't understand, and I truly believe this. The fans keep it going because I swear to
of
God,
course.
I would have quit 1,000 times if it wasn't for. I mean, like these cameras right here. They were all. This was the mayor of Farttown donated this one.
Your Honor,
Christina Beamish donated that one, and Randy Puga donated that one. Randy Puga has given us like so much money for this show, and then Jonathan McElnay Moe gave us that right there, which is the thing that streams all the multi-changer. The fans have like done this. They donate the money. And then honestly, like when I get the emails that say, hey man, my life sucks and I fucking live in a cubicle and you got me through the day, or hey man, I drive a truck and I'd fucking drive off a bridge if it weren't for you.
And that's the other half of the movie. It's pretty much, we all know each other. We know what the podcasters are going to say when we interview them, and that's the part we have. But what the part we don't have is the fans. Why is it so important to the fans? And that's the documentary in a nutshell, is the connection between the podcaster and the fans, and why it's so different and why it's so personal than any other medium.
We just got an email from a fan in Germany who said him and his girlfriend moved from Portland to Germany for work. And he goes, he was working in this environment. They had no TV. Everything is in German. He goes, and he was like working at home or in some office. And he goes, I had no contact with anything American. He goes, I had no friends. He goes, except you guys. He goes, and he listened to our podcast and a couple others that he listened to. And he was like, you guys, like, I got to hang out with you.
Yeah, that's what a lot of fans say, is it's like, it's almost like their party too. They're there.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that I hate about it most.
Yeah.
These
Get the
fuckers
fuck
are in
outta
my
Eddie's
fucking life I mean, like, because they'll tell you something like, hey, your wife didn't come down last night because I think you pissed her off when you said blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, fuck you, get out of my fucking life. I have so many people. Like, when I go out to my shows,
Get
and
out of my living room.
guys come out to have beers with me at a show, and they start talking to me. They know everything that's gone on in my life.
Yep.
So it's almost like we are friends. But I know nothing about them other than
They're agoraphobes.
Yeah.
they're a typical talking shit fan. They're a shithead.
And they have electricity.
So
That's it.
So
That's all you know.
No, I know they have electricity, probably a felony, a neck tattoo, and think it's funny if you punch a girl and she bleeds.
Yeah, and a Wi-Fi connection.
Yeah, yeah. And they also, I don't know, they know everything illegal. If I put on the Facebook page, how do
we have some different fans.
How do I hack into?
We have generally movie fans.
Yeah,
That's kind of the difference.
Our fans have changed since Jim left, but I will tell you, I told you guys the story. That I was just going to say it tell it again, but I told on their podcast on Comedy Film Nerds about, remember when we used to do the Manginas, Machete? Jim wanted to see Manginas for some I don't know why he wanted to. It was like, of all the things, like, you have power over your fans, all the things you could see, why would you want to see men?
And by the way, not a cue to put it on the screen.
Yeah, this guy.
Yeah, thanks, Cody. Thanks, Cody.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Cody.
that.
Well, I guess this is an upgrade from looking at the crabs photos for the last
I
15
wish
minutes.
if you could find, it probably isn't on that computer. I don't know how we would find the picture, but there was a fan. Jim asked for Manginas, but it couldn't just be a Mangina. It had to be a guy writing on his chest or somewhere. Some guys would have like a picture of our faces next to the Mangina, but somebody sent a picture, and it was a guy just standing in a hallway holding two AR-15s with a full body shot, face included, because nobody included their face. This guy included a picture of his face holding two AR-15s, and on his body it said, "Die, Jason."
Oh my God.
Sweet.
And that was our typical fan. I would say our fans have changed a bit. They're not as generous. They used to donate a lot more money, but we might find it here. Oh God. We're looking for the Mangina picture.
Click on any one of those and go to their go to the account. Oh, I see how this works. Yeah.
Oh boy, it might be up there.
Oh.
Yeah,
No, he might have taken that picture with him.
I remember the guy.
Jim Jeffries has that on his wall now.
I said to the guy, said on the episode too, I said, who would take that picture of that guy? And the guy wrote to us and said, do I look like the kind of guy that has friends? I put that on a tripod.
I mounted that shit.
Oh, look at the good old days. See, that's why a documentary is a great idea. Like we filmed so many hours of this shit that there's just so many funny. Look at Skippy Simon in the bunny costume.
See, this kind of stuff is just amazing. Like the connection you have with the fans, even your psychotic felon fans that you guys have. Like this is what we really want to get in the documentary. Is like I want to hear the connection, because there's so many emails we've gotten about like, hey, you got me through cancer or whatever, and like.
I don't care about those people.
you want the demented fucks.
I had a chick. There's a chick that's a fan of the show that keeps writing in about. She had a brain operation going on, and she possibly was going to be like really fucked up. She was telling us how much the show did for her and everything. And she's like, I might never write to you again because after this operation,
right,
I might be really fucked up. And I was like, well, hope we talk again. I didn't know what to say to her. I was like, I hope it's not. And everything went well, fortunately. And but we did have a girl who wrote to us all about her cancer. We used to have this girl called Cancer Girl, and Jim used to make a lot of fun of her. And and we would talk about how bad her cancer was and blah, blah, blah. This went on forever. This girl was like a part of the show. She ended up meeting up with like one of the guys from the show. He ended up fucking her.
Oh my God.
This shit got crazy. Turns out she didn't have cancer. She had lied.
Oh.
It was. I mean, some of the shit.
She pulled a Magic Johnson.
No, but there's the guy she fucked. Go back. See the guy with the beard and the hat? He fucked Cancer Girl.
Oh.
Yeah, right. Go down. No, the other way. There. That guy fucked her.
Jesus.
Okay. That guy got a tattoo on his back of Jim and I.
Technically, can you keep calling her Cancer Girl at this point, or
Fake cancer.
fake Cancer Girl?
Oh, that's Far Side.
Ah.
That was our intern.
Oh my God.
How
did you get married? That's my question.
It's funny. I did a podcast. I did Mariel Hemingway, and I was over at two-time Academy Award-winning nominated actress Mariel Hemingway. There it is.
Wow. That guy is calling. That's photo was sent from his fucking compound in Idaho. Jesus, look at that shit.
Is there a way we can post that on Facebook and blur his mangina? Although I think you should be able to show this because there's no cock involved.
And it's natural. It's beautiful.
No, will we get banned for that? Just can you put a blur? Do you know? Okay, put a blur on the
whole picture.
Just say typical shithead fan.
You know what? We have to do like Throwback Thursday kind of shit and start posting some of the old pictures because they're great. Holy shit. It feels like an eternity now.
Well, 300 episodes, I mean, that's a lot of shows, man.
How many did you do a week?
We always do 2 a week.
Oh, yeah.
We started off with 1 a week, and then we added 2. Tony, how long have you been a fan of the show?
Ever since the first Castle G episode. That's how I found you guys.
Oh, you found it from Castle G. He was probably about 20 or 30 in.
Yeah, it was pretty early on.
So how many years is that?
It's about 3 years.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Is that how long you've been doing Comedy Film Nerds?
We've been doing it 4 years now.
Yeah.
We just did 4 years. But we started slow. We started doing like 2 a month. Then we moved to one once a week. And now we've sort of added some bonus episodes. We do spoiler episodes every once in a while. We'll pick a movie.
We do about 6 a month now.
Yeah, do about 6 a month. So we're
I'd like to take a break and be like, what's the TV show that took a break of like 10 years? and then came back.
I don't know what show was that.
Fucking what's the name? And it came back as a Netflix show.
Oh, Arrested Development.
Yeah, I'd like to do that. I'd like to just take a break for 5 years and then come back.
And then have an internet company pick you up with a ton of money.
Yeah.
And not have to care about ratings.
Yeah, I don't care now.
Netflix doesn't even release the ratings. No one has any idea of how many people are watching their show.
Well, it's the same thing with podcasting. We've always I was over at Podcast One today, and we were talking about.
Are you guys on a network now? Is that
we are not on a network, but Podcast One does our advertising.
Oh, I see.
Which you might have heard one. We were talking about the ratings. When you go on iTunes and you see how ranked shows are, that's not true to
that
ratings.
has nothing.
No, it's some kind of weird secret algorithm they use that makes no sense.
It's a fucked up algorithm, and Rob Welch told me what the algorithm is that works at Libsyn, and it's a fucked up algorithm. But it's really fucked up because so many people check that regularly to see how it's going, and it has no bearing on.
A new show is always up the top rankings, regardless of how many downloads it
gets. But there's also nerds have always figured out how to fix things and change things and fuck with things and buy down. That's the problem with all the shit on the internet and getting advertising, because nobody trusts numbers.
Right.
They go, oh, you fucking you don't have 500,000 It's so many people with their Twitter followers are fake. And
well, that's because they bought.
Yeah. Well, you can buy podcast downloads. You can buy any.
What?
Yeah, fuck yeah.
You can buy Facebook likes too.
Yeah, you can buy.
But they're all fake. They're all fake accounts that aren't it doesn't matter. They're not people.
Yeah, there's so many ways to do it, and I've talked to guys who are like nerds that are good at this stuff. Like, this is what they do, and they'll tell you, like, oh, fucking. Years ago, I talked to a guy who was a YouTube broker. He brokered clicks on YouTube. He would sell them for 4 cents to advertisers and buy them for a cent. So he would buy clicks for a penny, then sell clicks for 4 cents advertising. And he's like, it's 3 cent profit, and he's like, it's an amazing business. And
wow.
And this was like
a couple of years ago.
This is like 5 years ago. This guy knew how to do this. And so think how far it's advanced. By the way, that's Chris Fairbanks right there in that one.
Very funny man.
Did anybody see his Conan? It was hilarious.
No, was it?
It was so fucking funny. Did you guys see it? I thought it was so funny, and I called him or texted. I said, hey, you were really funny. And he's like, thanks, I was so nervous. I'm like, it made it funnier that you were nervous. Like,
well, that's kind of his stage persona anyway.
Yeah,
and
he did a couple bomb lines, and if a bomb line's good, and if for those of you that aren't comics, or a bomb line is like making fun of the fact that the joke didn't work, sometimes those are done as like a crutch, but sometimes they're amazing.
He's one of those guys that, like, I think is so funny. I'd love to see the set, because when I've just seen him like at clubs, he just freestyles, and then in this like it seems like it's freestyling, but I've seen him several times where it's sort of written where it seems like he's just sort of doing this insane stream of consciousness shit, but it's just got all these fucking like lasers right in it. He's a funny dude,
it was
man.
nice to see him on Conan. I was like, oh wow, someone really funny that deserves to be on TV. Someone that didn't pester them till they put him on.
Wait, does that work?
Yeah, I guess. I don't pester them enough.
I don't pester. I can't. I've had all of the network shows all say to me, yeah, we want to have you on, give us a set. And then I give them the set, and they go, you need to fix this, 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 and this. And then I go, I don't want to do the show. Because I'm like, I don't want to put in that effort for the $1,000 that you get to do the show. It's just not worth it to me. Because I'll go out on the road then, and I'll be headlining, and my opener and my feature both will have been on the Ferguson and the Tonight Show. And I'm like, so it's not going to get me any higher, and it's not going to make me any more money. And
I mean, theoretically, just to play devil's advocate, do you think, and again, I'm not out hustling to get these shows either, but do you think, though, does it help with like ticket sales on the road?
Not at all.
Right.
Not one iota. In fact, if you think about the guys that sell on the road really well, none of them are those kind of comics.
Oh, you're right.
I don't understand there's still that thing kind of like, oh, I got to get on those shows.
Sure.
But the big selling guys, none of them are. Well, I mean, you take someone like Jim Norton, who's probably done a lot of those shows, but Jim has done those incidentally of his other fame. Like the
right.
the
Jim
other
is famous from Opie. Opie and
Yeah,
Anthony
his fame
and-
came
yeah.
from Opie and Anthony, and then all the other shows. Please do our fucking
Right.
5 minutes to stand up, and
Right.
Jim's like, all right, because I wouldn't say no to them ever. I just won't put in the work.
Yeah, yeah. If they just gave you the spot, of course you'd do it. Right.
When I go to Australia, they give me the spots. They go, hey, see you on Thursday, and I'm like, really?
Oh, that's awesome.
And I don't have to submit a script or anything. In Amsterdam, I had to submit a script to do a TV show once, and I go, oh, you guys want to check it for content so I don't get in trouble? And they went, no, we want to make sure it's funny. I guess, is there anything I can't say? And they're like, no, say whatever the fuck you
It's
want.
Amsterdam. You
Yeah,
can.
they're like, you can do anything you want here.
Mhm.
Comedy Central, when I did my special with them, they had advertising look at it, they had legal
Yeah.
look at it, and
Mhm.
they had standards and practices look at it.
And then they edit the shit out of it.
Yeah, and then they edit it. So there's 4 rounds basically that you go through of they take your art.
Once you get in corporate world, that's all. That's all it is. There's always that, that structure. Like when I wrote a book for Simon and Schuster, and then it goes through the editors, and then it goes through the copy editors, then it goes through legal, and they have all these weird things, like certain things you can and can't say about Disney
Jesus.
or
Yeah.
celebrities. But the funny thing is, it's like there's certain things you can say, like you could call somebody an asshole because that's not provable in court. You can't prove someone isn't an asshole. But
Really?
you can't say something specific about them.
Comedy Central would let me say nigger, but wouldn't let me say the N-word. Because they could bleep nigger, but they couldn't bleep the N-word. So they knew
They couldn't just bleep N, that part, the bleep word.
no,
That would-
because people would know what I was talking about. And because I had a joke that I said that I did on comedy, I did this joke anyway, and they said we're gonna have to bleep where you say the N-word. I put up a big fight about it. I said it was really this is probably the most awkward thing of my whole life. Before I shot my special, I had to go sit at a conference table with all these people about my shooting and about my shoot, and everybody had a packet in front of them, and one of the things they had was somebody took my list of jokes and they put their own titles on my jokes to give me
Oh, Jesus.
so like we have like a reference point for a joke. Like if you have a joke about
Right.
basketball, you'd say hoop joke or something,
Right.
whatever.
Just put hoops
Yeah.
or whatever.
So they've done that for me. So I have a joke where I say, my best friend is a midget. He's a real life and I go, he hates the word midget. He says that's the most offensive thing you can call a little person. And I was like, what about nigger midget? I'm pretty sure that's way more offensive. How dare you think that your M word is worse than the N word? It's not like your people were ever enslaved except in The Wizard of Oz. That's the whole joke. I walk into this meeting. It's all these people sitting around a conference table. To the left of me is a black woman sitting there, and the pamphlet comes down in front of me, and they're like, "Okay, we got to go through this. Let's get first, and we want you to okay your joke titles, and that are going to go on the teleprompter so that you know your order." And I look down, and like number 3, it says nigger midget, and I'm like. And that's all it says. Like there's no explanation. It's completely out of context. And I'm just sitting there, and everybody's like doing their business, and I'm like, all right, there's a giant elephant in this room right now, and I've got to address it. And so I start talking about it. And
Would have been better if it said Oz slavery.
So I'm sitting there looking at this woman, and I look directly at the black woman, and I go, this joke, it's not the name of the joke.
Right.
It's and I'm trying to like get out, and I'm making it worse, and I'm trying to explain to them. So that's when they say, okay, we're gonna let you say that, we're gonna bleep it. And I'm like, that's fine, go ahead. They go, but we're gonna also have to bleep when you say the N-word. And I go, why? They go, because then people know what you said. And I go, oh, so you mean people would know what the joke is? So we've got to.
Yeah, we don't stand for that at Comedy
See,
Central.
that kind of shit, like they should just say cut the joke.
Yeah, well,
Why butcher it up or just get rid? Like they just should say we can't have that joke.
somebody got a hold of me beforehand, and they said, give them the most offensive set you can ever give them so that they'll cut back. And then you'll get the set you want. So my game was, I'm going to give them the most horrible shit so I get half of the shit I want in.
Oh, I got you.
And it works. Because they're like, what are we going to... We got to cut some stuff.
Right.
And you end up getting a lot of stuff that you're like, I can't believe they let me say that.
Oh, I see. That's a smart play.
Yeah. So I had heard
Didn't Andy Kaufman used to do that? That was like one of his tricks.
I call it the trick. It's my whole life I've been doing it. I call it the motorcycle bicycle trick. I used to ask my dad for a motorcycle all the time. And he'd go, no, 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 no. And all I wanted was a bike. I go, can I get a bike? He'd be like, yeah, I'll get you a bike.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah. So you ask for a lot worse. You know, like when you go to a gig and they're like, this is a corporate gig. And you're like, can I say cunt?
Yeah.
And they're like, what?
Can I call the boss a cunt fag?
And then you're like, okay, I got this joke about a midget. And they're like, oh, yeah, you can do
Yeah,
that.
that's fine. That's fine.
One time I did a corporate in Australia, and they did say to me, they go, I go, what can I say? And the guy goes, oh, just don't say cunt, mate. And I go, I didn't know that was in the realm of possibilities. And he goes, oh, yeah. And he goes, I go, well, can I say midget? I have a midget joke. And he goes, oh, fuck yeah, mate. We fucking love the dwarf jokes. Fucking do it. I go,
and don't mention Yahoo Serious.
but he did say this. He goes, you got any poofter jokes? Poofters are gays in Australia. And I go, and he goes, because we fucking got one here, mate. Fucking pay him out. Fucking go at him, mate. Fucking just fucking go.
Pay him out. I love that. I love the Australian terms.
I was like, he's like, fucking take the piss, mate. He's a fucking big poof.
Oh my
Pay
God,
him
that's great.
out.
And
Pay him out.
I was like,
We got to start using that.
Yeah.
That's a hashtag. Pay him out.
Pay him out.
Pay him out. I might have used that. Might be British. It could be Australian. Take the piss is definitely British and Australian.
Mm-hmm.
But pay him out.
See,
is,
now that's something you could be Googling right now. Australian slang is pay him out.
all right.
Instead of looking at man.
I want to get to. I want the shitheads to help you guys with your documentary film
Yes.
because we know no Hollywood financing film is going to do that. How much is it going to cost to make your film?
We need $135,000.
That's not much.
It's not much.
No,
It's
not for a feature.
And for a feature film, the bulk of it is travel and
To see you
post-production.
guys, to see the fans.
Yes,
We want to see the
we
fans.
want to interview fans and see where they're like, this is how I listen to it or whatever. I ride a tractor and listen to this shit or whatever, you know. And if we can,
We
get-
probably won't go to prisons, though. I'm just saying. That's just.
I will. We gotta go to prisons. If
You
they,
absolutely
do they have
should.
iPhones in prison?
You have to put it out there too, and we could do that on this show to find out where our weirdest fans are. I mean, like we've done things of found. I mean, it's amazing. Saudi Arabia, places where you wouldn't think they'd be allowed to listen to this.
Right.
People in China and
Well, we actually were going to have stretch goals where if we meet our goal and keep going, we're going to go to Japan, Australia, and we're actually going to go out of the country to see the fans and podcasters there too.
Because I mean, you know this. Like, I've only done one tour to Australia. You've done a bunch of times, but just the one time I went last year, there were some of these were like little bar gigs, and there were Comedy Film Nerd fans that came out.
Yeah.
and
They brought the book for
they
you
brought
to
the
sign.
oh, you got to sign the
Who
book.
just Lachlan Patterson just went down to Costa Rica to do to a wedding. He goes, I'm at this wedding and these Costa Rican guys are telling me they're shitheads and they listen to your show. And he goes, they couldn't believe I was here. And then I get a message from someone saying Lachlan, they saw him in the jungle with a machete chopping down trees. I'm like, but there's they're all over the place. So shitheads. If you're in a weird place, you listen to a lot of podcasts. Usually guys that listen to one podcast listen to many podcasts. And I can't believe, because I'll check a Twitter after they're like, you suck. And then I go on to see who they are. And they're like, love you, Doug Benson.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know?
yeah, exactly.
And I'm thinking, oh, this person just trashes everyone.
Yeah.
Todd Glass, you're the greatest.
WTF for life. What?
Eddie F's a cunt. So they're all over the place. So let us know and become a part of this. You guys are doing a Kickstarter, right?
If you go to
Yes.
Kickstarter, basically it's the project is called Earbuds, the podcasting documentary. So you can search for it in Kickstarter, or you can just go to comedyfilmnerds.com. We have a banner ad at the top of our homepage, and just click right through to that. You can see the video with some of the interviews we already got at the festival that we talked about. There's all different kinds of tiers, and you can buy a download, you can get a DVD, you can get actual earbuds. We got from a
Yeah,
company.
that just started. We have a limited amount of those. You can actually get earbuds with some of the tiers. So a company
This
donated
is the
those.
first time I'm not begging for money on the show.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
just help these guys out. Don't help us this week. Help them. You know who you need to have on your documentary? The big guy right there. Machete, how many podcasts do you currently record?
I think I'm on 8 or maybe I produce 7 and I record like
Jesus.
12.
We got to talk to you.
Wow.
He came up to me at a fucking Trader Joe's.
He's the
I'm not
first one who
even
told
kidding.
me I should have you on here.
Yeah. He comes up at Trader Joe's. Hey man, I love your shit. And I was like, at first he's like, hey, like you came like some Mr. Elwood, and I was like, who the fuck is this? This motherfucker.
Did you really call him Mr. Elwood?
I can't remember, probably though.
I thought like, oh, I'm getting subpoenaed. Here we go. And then he's like, no man, do you know Jim Jeffries and Eddie Ifft? I go, I know Eddie, and he goes like, you got to get you on. So he got me on this show the first
Yeah.
time. So yeah, man. And again,
See, this is proof that there are people that know me and not Jim.
yeah. When I came on the show, I didn't know who Jim was. I introduced myself to him and was like, "Oh, hey, how are you? Are you involved in the show?" And he was like, "Yeah, you a comic?" I go, "Yeah."
He wouldn't like that. Machete, what are the podcasts you're doing right now?
I do Grantland's all the ESPN stuff. So that's but I just engineer that. I'm not a producer on it, but obviously I do Talking Shit, the Wadcast. I do this one with Al Jackson and Forrest Shaw called What's What. I do Yoshi's podcast. I do Joe Coy and
You've done Jay Moore's before.
Yeah, I've recorded with Jay Moore. The list. I actually have to do Kenny Kane's podcast.
Dude.
I'll go
I'm not
walk
even
in to
kidding.
do a podcast. And Machete's been with me on every episode that we've ever done since the beginning. I'll go in to do a podcast and somebody will ask me to, and I'll come over and he'll be sitting there. I'm like, what are you fucking doing?
Well, funny thing, we just got we just did one with Bill Burr recently for the What's What podcast, and then I just met him for the first time. I'm like, cool. And then we did another one with Joe DeRosa.
You didn't tell Bill that he should come over and do Talking Shit, did you?
Yeah, I'm working it in. Give me a
Okay,
second.
okay.
All right. It's not like
Settle.
It's not like I seen him at Trader Joe's or anything. So and then we did Joe DeRosa, and then Joe DeRosa had him on, and then I met him there too. I'm like, damn, what the fuck are you? You fucking on every podcast? He's just,
Yeah, dude, you're everywhere.
yeah, dude. So
Well,
yeah, I get
absolutely.
around.
So if you guys help fund this project, if it happens, we'll interview Machete at Trader Joe's eating some organic blue corn chips, bitch.
I think it could be a really good movie, and it needs to be done with because I was saying on your podcast that people need to know outside of the podcast world how to get into podcasting and how that it exists and how amazing it is. And I blame you, Stitcher. It's all your fault.
Yeah.
Because I think Stitcher is an amazing app, and and I'm not plugging them here trying to get people, but it's so fucking easy to get into podcasting using Stitcher. And if you listen to Stitcher, you can just listen to every show, any show.
Except ours.
Just search. Are you guys not on it?
We had an issue with Stitcher.
So did Doug, and so did a couple other people. Is this the same thing?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
I think they've cleaned that all up, though.
Well, let's hope
Thanks
so.
to you guys.
Good.
Oh yeah, we made a little stink with them. We
Well-
did. They're like, oh yeah, we just put your show on and sold advertising without telling you.
Yeah,
Oh.
they did it to
Yeah,
everyone, but
yeah.
but now I get checks. So thanks, guys.
Oh, good. I'm glad we could fucking help you out, dude.
Yeah.
You better fucking donate to this Kickstarter, bitch.
We will donate. The next check I get from Stitcher, we will give you 10%. You will get the agent
all right.
fee.
We'll take a little taste.
So where are you right now with the Kickstarter? How much?
We just launched it. We got 27 days to go, so we've hit 10%. We've got a little over 13 grand. So we've got plenty of time left.
Guys, they're at 10% of what they need. You
Yeah.
guys need to help them out. If you're a podcast fan, this is going to be something to make podcasting bigger and bigger than it's ever been, and can take. You look at like what Doug's documentary did for Doug.
Super
Benson.
Jaime.
Super Jaime
Yes.
helped sell way more marijuana.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny though that's a great example because that obviously stoners are like, yeah, it's a party movie and we watch it when we get high, but it also has helped the medical marijuana fight. You know what I mean? Like getting it legalized. Doug has gotten a lot of emails from people that go, I watched the movie. I showed the movie to my parents, to show to them, like,
I'm
I'm
not a fucking
not a
idiot.
fuck up. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Because it has interviews with people who are like, hey, man, I'm fighting cancer or whatever. I'm stuck in
Oh,
a wheel-"
to change the subject, I just saw not Katie Couric. Who's the Ann Coulter?
Oh,
That
she's great.
cunt.
Yeah.
I saw her on Fox News.
Really?
Other,
She
not
wasn't
Fox
on,
News.
she wasn't on
No,
MSNBC?
no. She was on. I'm sorry. She was on Fighting with Pierce Morgan about marijuana, and she was talking about. And I don't even smoke pot, but I'm on the side of stoners and think it should be legal and all this.
Yeah, I don't smoke pot
And
either.
she was fucking going crazy on like how bad marijuana is, and she was making these just ignorant statements. So I went to research her, and she's got all these good degrees. She's should be an intellectual, but is not.
But has chosen
And-
to be a snake oil salesman.
Yeah.
instead.
Yeah, I mean it. I couldn't believe her argument against marijuana, and I was thinking, they just need to play this, and they'll legalize pot. Just play her
Yeah.
talking about how bad, and she was talking about how she was making these like broad generalizations. She's like, everyone I know that is a pothead is a loser and is lazy and never works. And I was thinking, like, one of my agents is the biggest pothead and is the most productive man in the world. I have friends that have accomplished so much because of marijuana and done amazing things. I thought somebody should strangle this woman right now and just yank her
with a hemp rope.
Yeah, put this on the Facebook page, because she needs to be run out of media. Like
She needs to be run out of the human race.
she's worse than Jesse Jackson with just saying stupid shit.
Yeah, my joke was Sarah Palin, Ann Coulter, 2016 for the cunt tree. That was that's my joke on them.
Well, so everybody can find this. Where can they find it?
Again, if you go into Kickstarter and look under Earbuds, the podcasting documentary, or you can go to just comedyfilmnerds.com, and right on our homepages that you can click through the link to get you right to the Kickstarter page. There's 27 days left. You can, if you got crazy money,
You can be an executive
you can
producer.
be executive producer.
Just
How
like a
much? How much
regular
for that?
executive producer.
10 grand.
$10,000. You get to be an EP.
Yeah.
Randy Puga, you got time, money.
Yeah. Come on, Pooger. Get it going.
So help these guys out, guys. I think it's a great cause. And Twitters or anything you guys want to push?
Yeah. Of course, our website and podcast is comedyfilmnerds.com. We're on iTunes.
And the Twitter's Comedy Film Nerds.
At Comedy Film Nerds. My Twitter handle is at Grahm Elwood.
And I'm at Chris J. Mancini.
And I will be this weekend. When's this air, Machete? Thursday. Tonight. Come see me at Morty's Joke Joint in Indianapolis. I'll be there Friday and Saturday. And next week I'm at the Madhouse Comedy Club in San Diego, just Friday and Saturday night. And then Australia, the tour begins. I will be Adelaide, Melbourne, Sydney, and Gold Coast I'm only doing one night in the Gold Coast, and also Perth. I'm doing 5 nights in Perth. So get your tickets now. They're all available at eddieft.com.
Oh, I got real quick. I'm headlining Comedy Cafe in Milwaukee, February 6th through 8th.
February
that out.
6th. That's Grahm.
Yeah,
And
Grahm
thanks
Elwood.
for listening. Always check out our YouTube page. You can watch every episode. And what else? Nothing else. Nothing. Just keep doing what you're doing. Make sure you donate to their podcast movie at Kickstarter, and just keep being shitheads.
Thank you.
Good night.
Thanks.